We live. It's live time, baby. You guys can hear me and see me in the chat. Go ahead, type a one for your boy. We back like we never left, man. Back at it, man. We about to help you guys with some simple shred secrets today. Getting everything booted up. Why get everything booted up? We always come bearing gifts like Black Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? Bald headed black Santa Claus, to be exact. I'm about to drop the link to my free fat loss system. That way, if you guys need more in depth knowledge, intel, and tips on how to reach your summer shred goals, right? Because it's not too late. It ain't never too late. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, hit that link that I'm about to drop in the chat. Let's make sure you guys can hear me though first. Give me a one in the chat if you can hear me and see me, guys. Drop that one in the chat if my audio's good, if my visual's good, if you can hear me and see me, man. Drop that one in the chat, man. I just want to make sure. Uh-oh, I see some people coming through. Drop them ones in the chat, man, if y'all can hear me and see me, man. Drop them ones in the chat. Drop them ones in the chat. Who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Who's first? All right, first up, Dwight, 868. What up? Philippe, Include. What up? What up? Quentin Pitts. Yo, bro, been watching you for a while. 6'4". I was 460. Now I'm 333. Let's clap it up for Quentin. QP, man. Big dog. Out here losing a quick hun bun on y'all with the triple three, man. Triple three. Shout out to triple three, man. I've been seeing triple threes all day, man. I think it means we in alignment. I think it means we on that path to excellence. I think that means that it's finally time to motherfucking elevate. If you want to motherfucking elevate, drop me a flex emoji in that chat, baby. We about to get Facebook on here too, man. We about to get it popping. We about to get it popping, man. You know what I'm saying? We about to get it popping. About to get it popping, y'all. Drop some flex emojis in the chat, man, if y'all want to elevate. See where my elevation crew is at. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, where my flex emojis at, man? Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. All right. So we got we got my man's Nick Burkholz says, "Hey brother, are one protein bars healthy and legit? I dig all the flavors and it fits my diabetic needs." Hey man, I'm glad. I'm really happy to hear that you know what I'm saying, it hits your macros, because that is in fact the answer to your question. If it hits your macros, that's all that matters. Ain't no special protein bars out here, man. I don't give a fuck what they want you to know, what the marketing wants you to think. Okay? It all really just boils down to hitting your macros, right? And something that you can digest and that you actually enjoy consuming. All right. My man's Mulhem, I follow you from Syria. I wish you a happy day. Oh, happy day. Hey, y'all know what it is. Oh, happy day. What's up, Facebook? If y'all can hear me and see me, drop that one in the chat for your boy, man. I just want to make sure we good out here. Want to make sure we good out here. My mother's in the chat. Greetings to White, Latarius, Quentin. All right, all right. Nick Bertol says, "Thank you, sir." Ain't no problem, man. Thank you for pulling up. Facebook, what up? What up? What up? What's popping? Ness says, "See you." What up? Latarius says, "One, man." Hey, man, if y'all liking the live stream, man, tap that like button, man. Show some love. Also, if you just pulled up, we giving out free gifts today, right? Let's say you've been lost, you've been led astray, you've been frustrated, you've been trying everything under the sun, and you cannot seem to get over the hump. I want you guys to know there's nothing wrong with you. There's just something wrong with your motherfucking approach, man. It's people getting results right now, right? And they're following the systems and strategies that I lay out in my free fat loss system. Go ahead and grab you a copy of that, man. Just, what I'm saying, hit that button, man, and what I'm saying, we'll get you a copy sent right to your email. You just gotta log in and all that good stuff, man. You gotta log in and all that good stuff. Guys, if you want me to do your macros, right? I got you. Just go ahead, type your age, your height, your weight, your goal in the chat. Man, we're gonna get it popping with the macros if we got to. Somebody just sent me a message in the background. I just want to make sure it was something legitimate in regards to something I could do. Victor says, hello. What up, Vic? What's popping, man? Uh, Jeremy says, thanks for the invite. Hey, man, no problem, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For sure, for sure. Type one in the chat, man. If you can hear me and see me, if I'm still good. Just had to check a little message in the background. All right. You need them macros done. Holla at your boy, man. Drop a joint in the chat, man. Drop me a age, height, weight, and goal in the chat. I got you, man. Got you. Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. I didn't. This person sent me this, and I didn't even think this human uh, respected my gangster, man. But hey, just goes to show, man. Consistency beats everything. All right, y'all. What can I help with tonight, man? Before the NBA Finals is tonight, man. Game two, man. Who y'all got? Y'all got Pacers or y'all got Thunder, man? Who y'all got, man? Pacers or Thunder, man? Who we rooting for out here? You know what I'm saying? Who is we rooting for? You know what I'm saying? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I'm saying Victor says, hey fam, what's happening? Jeremy says, is this live right now? Yeah, Laurel, we live, man. We on here, man. We out here. We in the streets. The Guts, is that Guts from the Golden Age arc? Guts says Thunders. I don't know, man. I don't know. Adam Walker says, what up, man? What's popping, Adam? What's happening? Um, you know what I'm saying? Guts said we got some comeback Thunder action. All right, we're going to see. Jeremy Watkins says one. All right, cool. Guys, if you need some help getting ripped, go ahead and drop your age, height, weight, and goal in the chat. I'll go ahead and do your macros here. Make sure I hook you up with your nutritional guidance to help you, you know what I'm saying, get to your goals. MVP gonna do some shit. He did some shit the other night and they still lost, man. I don't think that's enough, right? Like one man is not enough to get an NBA championship. Um, all right, Latarius. What up, Latarius? Is 31 years of age. He is 237. Latarius is also five. Oh yeah, Latarius, I need your height. I can do your macros if I got your height. Okay. Uh, McIntyre Holmes. This video keeping me big as hell. My goal is to help you not be big as hell, man. If I can, like that's the target. I'm Buster Gabriel. Are calorie deficits okay for teens who want to be leaner? Calorie deficits are not only okay for teens, they're okay for all humans, okay? All mammals, actually, because why do mammals store fat, right? For caloric reserves in times of caloric scarcity. All of our bodies evolved to store fat so that if we ever needed it in case of famine, then we got that energy right there. So, yeah, if you got fat to burn, right? Yes, you can go into a deficit and tell your body to burn it. Laurel coming through with the win. She says, thanks, Cory. I finally went clothes shopping today. I am not a size 12 from an 18. Let's clap it up for Laurel. Laurel joined my program almost 90 days ago. I think we got to do our 90-day touchdown, Laurel. I'm gonna hit you up after this. Laurel came to me over the graceful age, the young age of 60, and she had a lot of dreams, goals, aspirations. She hit sort of a sticking point. We worked together, put together a plan specifically for her, and she lost, I think, somewhere around 20, almost 30 pounds, something like that. I gotta check the real numbers of her, and now she's going to clothes shopping. Guys, if you want to go clothes shopping, right? If you want to get it popping with your new fits this summer, like Laurel, go ahead and grab that free fat loss system, man. Hey, Laurel, I'm happy for you, girl. I'm so happy for you. You know what I'm saying? You went all in, and that's why you're being handsomely rewarded. Kyle goes quack. Nice glasses. Thank you very much. These are some of my favorites. Jordan is 27. He's 6'1". Shout out to Jordan. You know what I'm saying? 200 pounds. So 6'1", 200. Maybe it looks like you want to get lean. You want to lose some fat, bro. All right. So to get there, to get leaner, what we would do is I would actually start you personally at a good old 180 grams of protein, right? So write that down, 180 grams of protein, 135 grams of carbs, 60 grams of total fat, right? You do that every day. I mean, you gonna get lean real fast. All right, you're gonna get cut up. Just come shout your boy out once you see that first like 10 to maybe 15 pounds come off. Eric Bishop Summers, what up? I just seen you pop up. Oh, Jordan, you said you want to gain muscle. Hey man, so then that you fuck them tips I just gave you. We actually gonna flip that. So if you want to gain muscle from 200, then we will put you here. Make sure if you guys want your macros done, make sure you put your goal in the chat with your stats, so I don't give you the wrong macros like my friend Jordan here. 180 grams of protein still, 300 grams of carbs, 50 grams of fat. You do that, you're gonna be able to put on some muscle, bro. Just make sure you're lifting heavy and progressing. Can you teach us how to twerk? Nah, I never learned how to do butt stuff, because it's just not my wheelhouse. Wayne Jarvis, you're awesome, Corey. That's a fact. Thank you very much. Mr. Leash, goal, 88 kilos. You got to convert that to pounds for your boy. Can calorie deficit stunt growth? Nah, I don't think it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still like you can still grow whether you're in a deficit or not if your testosterone levels are high enough. And when you're hitting puberty, I mean, for the most part, like your body's able to like really, really rev up and grow with minimal nutrients. So I think that's the least of your concern. L says, I like your glasses. They are tough. I appreciate that. Can you lose calories if you're black? You can lose calories no matter what color you are, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's like a color discrepancy for like a certain, you know what I'm saying, certain calories for a certain color. I don't think it works like that, man. Ricardo came through. What up? What up? What up? What up? What's good? What's good? Yeah, I ain't never heard of that, man. Like I coach people in all walks of life, every color, except purple. That's the only color I ain't coached yet. So I don't know who the fuck told you that like being black has something to do with the calories. Pacers or Thunder tonight? I mean, it's really looking like the Pacers are going to win the NBA title. I mean, how do you guys let Tyrese Halliburton come in and hit a game winner in every series? Right? He's really looking like a problem. I don't know if they can handle that guy. I don't want to get big as hell. Yeah, man, I don't want you to be big as hell either, man, if you don't want to be big as hell. Jordan Booker, will I get fat if I do 180 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbs, 300 grams of fat? Yeah, you'll get fat as hell if you do that, unless you just like unless your whole life is centered around like, I don't know, hiking mountains or shit or some shit, right? Like, I don't know if you can burn that many calories and not get fat. But here's the thing: if you just follow the macros I prescribe, man, I don't think you'll run into that. Brian Williams, what up? I just talked to Brian, man. Shout out to my fellow Floridian. What was the macros you told me? No, I told you 300 grams of carbs, 180 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat. That's what I told you. Can you eat meat to get protein? Pause. Yeah, I said pause. Real is 46, 245, 9. Would like to get down to 180. That's easy work, man. Get your pen and pad out. Real one. Real one is the name. So 5'9", 46. I'm assuming real one's a man, right? I don't think women name themselves stuff like that. So, real one, you would need to do the following. So, we're going to put you on 180 grams of protein, 110 carb, 70 grams of fat. You do that every day, real one, you're going to get lean as hell. Just come back and shout your boy out. Make sure you get a gallon of water in the day, though. Like, that's the only way it's actually going to work. George Dudley, how's the electrolyte powder from NutriCast? Based on the label, what you think? I ain't never heard of NutriCast. I can Google it real quick. Let me see what's happening with NutriCast. You said electrolytes. NutriCast. Okay, NutriCast. Jordan Booker just came through. Hey man, thank you so much for the super chat. How much is your coaching? The coaching does vary per individual, right? We customize our programs, so we do have a wide array of different approaches. Really just depend on what your needs are, what your goals are, how long it's going to take to get there. Now, if you want to learn more about possibly teaming up, because we do not work with everyone, you do have to apply to be a part of the Armstrong Army, right? So if you want to do that, there's a link that access my portal where the free guides are. You scroll all the way to the bottom, there's an application link, right? Do not apply if you do check the following boxes. If you've never lifted weights before, right? It's your first time ever looking at doing, don't apply. It's not gonna work for you. It's not gonna work for you if you really have a problem with being coached, right? Like if you like to do things your own way, keep doing it your own way. This is not gonna work for you, right? If you're scared of hard work, you're lazy, it's not gonna work for you, right? If you got trust issues, right? You've been scarred in the past and you like, afraid to trust new people, don't even hit me up, right? Deal with that first and then maybe apply in the future, right? But if you're not like afraid to do something different, if you enjoy being challenged, pushed, if you're not afraid of hard work, and this ain't your first rodeo, you're frustrated with being stuck, right? Feel free to reach out, apply, and I'll see if I can help. Okay. Aaron Gutierrez, what up? All right, NutriCast. I ain't forget about you, George Dudley, man. I just seen that super chat come through. All right, so as far as the label on NutriCast, like honestly, man, I would never buy this electrolyte powder personally. And the reason being is when I'm looking at an electrolyte powder, I am primarily looking at what amount of sodium does it have per serving? Now, a lot of people are afraid of sodium because unfortunately the health industry as well as the food industry has like bastardized sodium as if it's like negative, it's bad because people is often associated with high blood pressure. But sodium itself doesn't cause high blood pressure. What causes high blood pressure is overconsumption of sodium or underactivity combined with overconsumption of sodium. Overconsumption of highly inflammatory, highly processed foods and lack of activity altogether leads to high blood pressure, right? And so it's not sodium's fault, right? Sodium is actually what we call an essential mineral, meaning without the presence of sodium in your body, you will die. Okay. So if you don't want to die, you need sodium, right? So when you're looking for an electrolyte powder, you want something that has a significant amount of sodium, ideally, if you are an active individual. If you is a motherfucking fat boy, right? You a lazy motherfucker, you be on the couch all the time, right? You probably need to stay away from sodium, right? Because your body has plenty locked into your muscles and cells. But if you sweat a lot, like let's say you're like Laurel's on my program, right? And she also does like a CrossFit studio. So she does my workouts and she also does her CrossFit workouts in conjunction with that. She loves both. So she's what you call a highly active individual, right? She's doing multiple different training sessions a week. She's sweating, right? She's drinking water. She's controlling her carbs. So somebody like that, she loses her electrolytes in sweat and waste and putting in actual work. So somebody like her, she would need the sodium to be replenished through either hydration of locking it in through like your water with electrolyte powder, like this thing, or just like with food, right? So, with that being said, man, like this shit only got 90 milligrams of sodium. What you want for sodium is about 2,400 milligrams a day, right? So this ain't gonna put a dent in it. That's why I would never buy something like this. You want to know what the best electrolyte powder is? It is LMNT because LMNT has 1,000 milligrams in one packet. That at least gives you about 30% of your daily recommended value right there. My bad. About 40% actually. So with something like that, like you'll actually feel a difference, right? You'll feel a significant boost in performance, satiety, and also cognition and things of that sort. I didn't like LMNT, so I got Liquid IV. Yeah, Liquid IV is it's okay. I mean, I got that over here too, but that's only when I like run out of LMNT and I gotta wait for my next shipment and I gotta go to the store and get Liquid IV. Because that's more market friendly because it's less sodium. But LMNT is the best. Does eating fat make you fat? No, not at all. What up? What up? What up? What up? Jordan Love just pulled up. J Dub, what up? What's good, guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right. Does electrolytes taste good? It's more of an acquired taste. Jonathan Arietta. Um, that name sounds familiar. Um, 5'11", 32, and wants to build lean muscle. Okay. So 175. So what we would do is I know where I heard that name from. I know who Jonathan is. What up, Jonathan? Okay, so I got to give you a different prescription because you actually can't, from what I remember when we talked, like you can't have a bunch of, you actually can't consume a bunch of carbs because of non-alcoholic fatty liver, I think. So start with, oh shit, hold up. So I would put you on 170 grams of protein, 115 grams of fat, right? And 140 grams of carbs. And the reason that I would recommend that for you, Jonathan, is because if you have non-alcoholic fatty liver, you obviously do not want to have high consumption of carbohydrates as your primary fuel source when putting you in that deficit. So your fats would be a lot higher than the average person because the way that your body's currently metabolizing, glucose and carbs. So essentially, fueling more with fats and keeping that protein high, those numbers I just gave you put you in a slight surplus. So 170 protein, 115 fat, 140 carb. That should get the ball rolling. UZL Judah. I'm down 30 pounds. Let's clap it up for UZL Judah. That's what's up. What's your opinion on GLP-1 and working out? I'm not a big fan of GLP-1s from the standpoint of like I think people rely on them like too heavily just being the sole thing that they utilize for fat loss, right? So like, hey, I'm just gonna take this GLP-1 and not work out, right? Like from that perspective, I think that shit's whack, right? But if you're doing it in training, I think it's a great marriage of the two because what a GLP-1 does, it actually inhibits certain like hormonal triggers that you have for the desire to eat. So it blunts your appetite, it kills your appetite. And if you're looking to lose fat, right, like that just makes it easier to adhere to a deficit. I've coached many people on GLP-1s, and the main thing that we really focus on is making sure that they're still tracking their consumption, right, and they're still building a caloric deficit, even though they are on those GLP-1s, and really making sure that you get your protein in, because if you don't, you're going to lose a ton of muscle. And if you lose muscle, what's going to happen is it becomes much harder to maintain, the fat loss, as well as it actually makes you not look that impressive when you lose the fat. So it's really one of those things, man, where like if you are somebody who, has struggled with weight loss in the past, and you get on a GLP-1, if you never really establish the habits around nutrition, you're not going to maintain any type of weight loss anyway, right? So I would recommend, if you are on it, like really hyper focus on hitting your macros. If you never track macros, you need some help with that, just go ahead and grab that free fat loss system. I help you with that. Okay. Miss Liz, first time subscriber. What up? What's up, Miss Liz? Welcome. I'm 5'10", 237. I would like to get down to 190. I'm already cutting carbs. Just eating veggies, meats, and drinking water. Any advice? Yeah, you need actual macros to target. So like, if you give me your age, I can give you your macros right now. Or if you just don't feel comfortable, you can just grab that free fat loss system below and generate your own macros. But ultimately, like saying that you cutting carbs, eating meats and veggies is the equivalent of saying I'm eating healthy, right? And healthy choices is not a strategy, right? Because if you knew what was healthy for you, right, you would have never got fat in the first place. What you really need is data. You need numbers, right? Because it's the equivalent of like getting a GPS or a roadmap to guide you to somewhere you never been before. How you gonna drive somewhere you never been before without direction? That's crazy, right? But that's what it's like trying to eat healthy and you ain't never been in the shape you want to be in. Or you ain't been there in a long ass time and you don't know how you got there the last time, right? So definitely get you a roadmap, man. Get a strategy, get a plan. And the best plan is like track macros, because you can eat whatever foods you enjoy eating. You just make them fit your macros. Easy, easy work, man. 5'10", 54, 237. All right, so what I would put you on is the following macros, my friend. Go get your pen and pad out. So we will put you on. All right, missless. 180 grams of protein, 140 carb, 55 grams of fat. You do that every day, man. You're going to get lean quick as hell, all right? Just come shout your boy out when you lose your first 10 pounds of fat on those macros. Make sure you at least get a gallon of water a day and at least like 30 grams of fiber, okay? That'll help big time. Cory Cornelius Armstrong. My middle name is not Cornelius. Do you know about warrior cats? No, I know about Thundercats, but I do not know about warrior cats. Brandon Parrott, what's your opinion on 16A fasting? Love it. Most of my clients are on it. I think it's fantastic. Okay. What up? Anthony Kersey, what up? Alejandro James, what up? Mammy Bradshaw, what's popping? What up? Welcome to the live. Greetings. How can I help you guys be great? Thanks for your advice, bro. Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad I could help. Glad I can help. Glad I can be a part of your elevation, man. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about people helping people. You know what I'm saying? That's why we here. We here to lift each other up. My man, Brian Williams, what's your thoughts on carnivore? I'm not a big fan of carnivore personally, just because I don't think you need to give up carbohydrates to lose fat. I got too many people that I've ran through my program in the past 10 years who all still eat carbs and lose fat, right? You don't even need to give up carbs to go into ketosis. You know what you got to do to get to ketosis? Just fast. right? Just stop eating. Just fast for like more than 16 hours and you'll likely get to ketosis. And that's where a lot of those benefits start to roll in that all these like keto and carnivore dorks start talking about. So I don't do carnivore, man. I would never teach it personally, but some people like it, you know. What's some of your workouts you recommend for better mobility? Depends on what area you want to be more mobile. Like mobility in your hips and mobility in your shoulders are two different types of mobility. I think my big three for mobility, just for like someone who wants to address kind of all the key areas, right, is like hips, shoulders, and thoracic. Thoracic is like your spine. So spine mobility, hip mobility, and shoulder mobility. And the three-step mobility like program I usually put my clients on is starting to warm up the shoulders with shoulder dislocates with like a resistance band. That's not actually dislocating your shoulder. That's just the name of the exercise. Uh, the second one is kind of going into something to open up the hips, like a 90-90 stretch for both sides of the hip. It works on internal and external rotation of the hips, ensuring that you balance on both sides. And then, maybe like a supine scorpion. It's good for your spine. Really, usually alleviates that low back tightness if you got it. If you guys want to learn more about how to do that, just go grab the free fat loss system. It breaks it down in there. You guys in the Facebook group are in luck. You actually have access to the whole free workout plan. It's attached in the feature section, so you should be able to see it. And there's video attached to the PDF too. All right, Letarius. So 30, 31, 5'7", 237. Okay, so I would put you, my friend, on 175 grams protein, 125 carbs, 60 grams of fat. You do that every day. Get you a gallon of water. Like I was telling the other brother, make sure you get like 20 to 30 grams of fiber. You're going to lose all kinds of fat, big dog. Just make sure you stay consistent. Shout me out, man. You should check it out. Mr. Cornelius, the first book is about a cat named Rutsy joining the forest clan of cats, adapting the house cat of clan cat. I'm gonna just take your word for it, man. Like you talking about a book about cats, you know what I'm saying? Like it sounds like something that, you know, is good for some people. I don't know if it's gonna be my thing though. Captain Caveman. Any good nighttime appetite suppressants? Water and electrolytes. Right? Water and electrolytes. I'm telling you. You drink a water and electrolytes before bed, you're not even gonna be thinking about food. Yeet. I see it. What up? What up? What up? Ain't no hoes here to hit on. Um, I mean, you could like go outside your house if you need to do that, right? Why you on YouTube Live looking to do that? That's kind of weird, bro. Like, take your ass a walk outside around the block or something, man. Thank you. No problem. No problem. I appreciate the appearance, man, but hey, this is not why we're here. We're here to get fit, man. We're here to get to our goals, man. You know, if anything, if you're more attractive, women will start hitting on you. You know what I'm saying? That's just some advice, CJ. Rudy says, I'm bummed out. I do cardio 5 times a week and lift. I'm 6'2". I weigh 152. Here I am thinking because I work out and eat healthy and do cardio, I'm healthy. I'm trying to gain lean muscle, but I just got blood work done and I have high cholesterol. I wouldn't be discouraged if I was you. That's actually empowering information. Like, how would you know to change your approach if you had never got that information? Right? So, like, embrace what that means. That means the shit that you've been doing ain't the shit you need to be doing. Right? Imagine if you just kept doing that for another year and it got worse and you never knew. Right? I think that's a blessing, man, to like actually experience that discomfort or that dissatisfaction with the information that you just got. because a lot of people live their life in the dark, man, and they just wake up one day and they're like, what the fuck happened? So yeah, man, you got high cholesterol. That just mean that shit you've been doing ain't the shit you need to be focusing on. Just change it. Um, CJ says, I'll be hitting the block like a crip, cuz. That's good for you, man. I'm excited to hear about what you learned from hitting the block. Brian Williams. So, what does your macros look like to keep that tight body? Good question. I'm just using the same macro ratio that I'm giving you guys, right? Depends on the goal at the time. So if I'm looking to lose fat, there's a certain amount of calories that I target based off my BMR, and then I just use a macro ratio: 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat, right? And essentially, that split, I'm running it through like a calculator that you can find on Google right now. Um, I have the exact video of me walking through how to do it inside the free fat loss system I'm giving here tonight. But that's all I do. I just plug the numbers into that, and it gives me my macros back. So, if you want your numbers, Brian, I can run your numbers right now. Just give me your stats, your age, your height, your weight, and your goal, and then I'll give you your macros. If you don't want to, you can also grab the free guide and do it yourself too. 5 units of GH a day is gonna turn you into Superman, possibly. Hey Corey, thanks for the content. Love the videos. The only thing is my mom is very upset with me right now because I told her she was big as hell. I think you need to tell, what I'm saying, people in your life that they big as hell, right? Because how else would they know? A lot of people in their lives are just lying to them, letting them think that being big as hell is cool until you come across and you tell them the truth, man. So, tell her. I mean, you told her, right? She's upset. That's on her. If it's true, it's true. She got to decide what she's gonna do about it, man. I don't know if you should tell her she's big as hell like that. You should be a little more subtle with women though. Like when I'm talking to like my mom, for example, right? Like I would never say, "Mom, you big as hell." I'd be like, "Hey, ma, you wanna meet your grandchildren one day?" And then she'd be like, "Yeah, you got some news to tell me?" And I'd be like, "Nah, I'm just saying that if you want to meet them one day, you probably gonna need to like make sure you keep going to the gym." Right, and then she'll understand that that means that I'm telling her she need to do better with her health. uh Goya de la Princessia, hello, greetings. I'm loving you is a crime, then I'm going to prison for you. You ain't got to go to prison for me. You can live free for me, right? Or for yourself. Don't put me in it. Riley, do you remember me? Nah, man. But welcome to the live, Riley. Centro, shout out Centro, please. That's what I'm talking about, man. Rudy, I'm gonna cut down on red meats and eat more turkey and chicken. Good for you. Hopefully you enjoy that. C Rees 100 says, "Does calling my mom big as hell make me a bad son?" I don't think so. I think you'd have to do much worse things to your mother than call her big as hell to be considered a bad son. Um, last night, me and my girl watched this movie called Dee Dee. It was about this Asian family and this guy who's like a teenage loser, and he was like transitioning from like eighth grade to ninth grade. Y'all remember that time in life? It was like really awkward, right? Well, he was like saying some reckless shit to his mama, and I still don't think he's a bad person. I think he's just misguided, right? So like I think like telling your mom that she big as hell probably isn't the best way to go about like helping her be more health conscious, but it's definitely not the worst way either. Corey, what are your thoughts on vibration exercises? Vibration exercises meaning what? Are you talking about like with a vibration plate, like at the gym, or what are you talking about? Okay, yeah, like the fly bird vibration exercise. I think vibration exercises and vibration therapy in general are the future, because vibration actually, so that's one of the signals that actually travels to your body or to your brain much quicker than like the signal for pain. So like when we talk about like recovery, when we talk about you know, restorative exercises, when we talk about increasing range of motion, mobility, like vibration therapy, vibration exercises can help tremendously with that because it can help relax the muscles, increase blood flow circulation, and help with that neurological connection, that brain to muscle connection with muscles that might be asleep or tight or weak. So I think it's great. Miss List says, where could I find a link to sign up for a consultation? Miss List, there's a link actually in the chat. It says free guides here. If you hit that link, it goes to the main page. You have to scroll to the bottom, and there's a link to set up a consultation with me, brother. I saw it's to help with weight loss. So here's the thing about weight loss. Exercises don't make you lose weight. I want to just dispel that myth. What helps you lose weight is being in a caloric deficit. So exercise can help you burn more calories because what you're doing is you're actually promoting through your activity, if you're doing exercises that are strength based, a higher metabolic rate, right? But the metabolic rate does not determine how much fucking food you stuff in your face, right? So you still have to like, you still got to control that piece. And that's the most important piece. It's like 80% of it. But like it can help because it'll help your body start to connect to all the dormant muscles. You'll actually activate more muscles doing something on a vibration plate, right? That's why they're able to like legitimately promote it as a weight loss protocol because you activate so many muscle fibers that you'll be burning more calories than you did if you weren't, if that makes any sense. How often do you eat pizza? Probably once every every 90, maybe once every 90 to 120 days. I don't be eating pizza like that, man. It's a lot of calories that you got to burn through, man. And I'm not saying I'm lazy. Like I burn a lot of as many calories as I can in a day, but if I don't have to go out of my way to stay this lean and ripped, I don't. Okay? So like I had some pizza like 2 weeks ago, right? I ate the whole. Oh no, me and my girl we smashed. I smashed 80% of the slices, and it was stuffed crust. My girl eats like a bird, but yeah, I fasted all day, ate that pizza, and then the next day I got back on my macros. Probably not gonna have pizza again for a few weeks. I just don't have the urge for it, honestly. I have more of an urge for the foods that hit your macros because I always lean on the side of really high protein consumption. So I'm usually more satiated when I actually eat towards my macros versus when I'm eating like, you know, junk food. You know what I mean? Where I break the macros to do like a cheat day. I'm usually more hungry the next day. How much cardio do you do in a week? I actually don't do a ton of cardio, Brian. I'm more of a steps counter. A lot of my lifestyle centers around this, right? So I'm constantly in consultations, meetings here from my desk with my clients throughout the day. I'm planning meals, right? I'm doing workout plans, meal plans from here. I'm managing and coaching my team from my desk, and I'm even doing like content, like YouTube videos, videos that live within my app, courses and frameworks for my team and for my clients. So, being that that's the case, I don't really live a like super duper active lifestyle. It's more cognitive work than it is anything. And so because of that, I like to do things that make me more active all day so that I'm not too sedentary to where it makes it to where I have to do an abundance of cardio just to maintain this, right? You have to understand too, I'm already lean, right? So I'm not saying that like to get to my level, you don't have to do any cardio. I'm just saying that I don't at this level because I'm already lean. What I do enjoy though is I really love walking. I moved to Florida, right, like 3 years ago, simply because I love going for walks every morning and I wanted to be in a warm climate that allows me to do that. So I just aim to get 10,000 steps a day. I track it every day with my Oura ring and make sure that I get, 8 to like 6, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, right? So, man, I just aim for that. Like that's my thing. 10,000 steps a day. Sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's like 15,000. I'll make things like I'll create scenarios for me to walk more. Like I'll run out of supplements, and instead of ordering it on Amazon and waiting on it to get here, I'll walk to the supplement store that's like a mile away and walk back. You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. I enjoy doing that because I get a lot of dope quality of life benefits from walking. Everything from the cognitive stuff, I get good ideas. I get to study while I walk, right? I listen to podcasts and courses and, just get some of my best ideas typically when I'm walking. So I enjoy it. Views on Clearway. I think somebody asked me about Clearway the other day. I'm not a big fan of like Clearway in the sense that like it needs to be a thing, right? I think it's like if you have a problem with like your standard whey protein, like you just don't digest it well or you hate the chalky texture, I think clear whey could be a great alternative, right? But honestly, for me personally, like if you're asking me, I'm not drinking a lot of protein these days because I have a fast metabolism now. So my problem is when I drink whey, I digest it so quick that I'm hungry again, right? You guys all have that to look forward to if you follow these principles, right? I gave you guys the free guide, the link below for that. But essentially, like I eat more protein nowadays, right? Personally, but I think like I got clients who like just hate the chalky texture of like whey protein, like the lactose based stuff. So they prefer like a clear whey for that reason because it's more like a flavored water or a juice texture, right? So from that standpoint, I think it could be great for you guys if you really just hate, you know, sort of sort of the texture of like your standard whey protein. I think a clear whey could be good. My friend likes regular soda and he wants to quit for diet soda. Would it be better choice to cause all the calories and sugars in regular soda? I think you just got to look at the overall caloric and macronutrients for the day. I would need more information to make that recommendation, but generally speaking, like I think if you're going diet, then you probably are going to have less calories in comparison to what you would do if you were consuming, your standard sodas. Laurel, what do you think about daily digestive probiotics? I think it's situational, right? Like I talked to so me and Laurel, right? Me and you, we've talked about the way that your body digests protein specifically because you had mentioned to me in the first few weeks of being on the program that you had noticed that you were getting stocked up with all the protein you were consuming. And so what I recommended at that point is I said, let's switch protein sources and then let's increase fiber and see if that helps. And then maybe throw in like a digestive enzyme if that doesn't work. So I think a digestive enzyme or a daily probiotic could be good to throw into the mix if you find that you're not able to like digest and stay regular when you're consuming high amounts of protein and you've already attempted to either switch your protein sources from dairy to like more whole food sources. And the other part is what I just said about Laurel. We shifted her fiber intake up to about 30 grams. So if you check those two boxes and you're still having problems with digesting protein, I think probiotics could be good for that. You know what I mean? I think probiotics aside from just protein digestion and absorption just could be good in general if you're having gut issues and you're still getting your 30 grams of fiber. Basic rule of thumb though is like get your 30 grams of fiber a day first before you introduce supplements that will aid in digestion because fiber is meant to do that on its own, you know. What are your workout reps in lifting, Brian? Brian, I don't have a set number of reps for lifting. What I have is a system where we incorporate something that's called phasing. Now, phasing for you guys that are unfamiliar with that terminology is essentially where you have a intent for what you want your body to adapt to based off the repetitions, right? There's 5 ways that your body builds muscle. One is it responds to volume. So how many reps, sets, and weight that you utilize to train a particular muscle group or just your entire body with. Second is also training frequency. So how frequently you train, each individual muscle group or groups. Training intensity, like the perceived tension that your body's under, the perceived exertion that you place your body under is another one. And then also like rest periods and training tempo. Those are the other ones. So it's five of those. And what happens is depending on the rep range that you're in and the amount of weight that you're using in conjunction with that, and also those other training parameters that I mentioned, what happens is you cause your body to go under a certain adaptation, right? So think about those five ingredients of muscle building I just gave you, Brian, and everybody else listening. Those are like ingredients for the recipe, right? The recipe is your motherfucking body, right? And so what happens is you want to put in these ingredients in the appropriate amounts that give you a certain end result, a certain end outcome, right? What you don't want to be doing is just mix and matching different methodologies because you're just going to get a random outcome. That's what I call random workouts, giving you a random ass body. So what we do is we pick a certain combination of those things, a certain amount of reps, a certain amount of sets, a certain amount of weight, a certain range and perceived intensity for a certain amount of weeks, Brian. So there's like a 3 week period where we're training in like the 8 to 12 rep range, right? And then we transition from that to like training 15 to 20 reps for like a 3 to 4 week period. And then we transition from that to doing more of like a 5 by 5, right? For a particular range of weeks. Again, I go more in depth on this in the free fat loss system that I dropped in the chat. Also, you guys in the Facebook group actually have access to 30 days of training that goes through my first phase, which is the 8 to 12 rep range in the protocol. So hopefully that's helpful, man. Getting fiber from powder is good, or is it better to get it from food? It's always better to get your nutrients from food if you can. If I eat less than my macros, will that make me lose weight faster? Yes, but losing weight and getting lean are two different things. Weight is comprised of everything. So weight is essentially a arbitrary term that refers to muscle, fat, water, pretty much everything, bone density, all of that. So you could be losing weight but not realize that you're losing muscle, right? The reason why those macros are what they are is to give you the appropriate nutrients to actually retain muscle during your fat loss process. So that's the only risk you run of just under eating your macros too aggressively too often is you won't be giving your body what it needs to actually maintain the muscle that you've acquired, which have you out here looking soft, flabby, and frail. You guys ever seen DJ Khaled? You know what I'm saying? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you know who DJ Khaled is. DJ Khaled, you guys can Google this. He lost like 40 pounds or something with his partnership with Weight Watchers. And he has like a before and after picture. And he literally looks the exact same. Like his body looks like a apple on both, right? He looks like a motherfucking apple. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's because he lost weight. He didn't get lean, he lost weight. Because the protocol he was following was essentially just restrict calories, right? Not really concerning himself with the consumption of protein. And I don't know if they were doing weightlifting or not, but essentially like he was not putting himself in a state where the priority was muscle retention. And so because of that, y'all here looking the same. And I don't want to look like DJ Khaled. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to look like DJ Khaled? I think not. So keep the protein high while you're in that deficit. I have a question about sleep. This is Griffin. Can I have nocturnal schedule and still gain muscle? And of course, as long as I hit my sleep goal. I think when it comes to sleep, it's super individual, right? Definitely get you some type of feedback from a sleep tracker if you can. I think in modern society, there's so many, everything from like your Garmin, your Apple Watch, even your Fitbit, and your, other devices like that are good. The top tier trackers though are the Oura Ring and the Whoop. They're really inherently designed specifically for just giving you that feedback around how many hours of sleep you got and what was the restoration rate of the sleep, and what sleep cycles you entered and how long you stayed there, and just all those intervals that you would need to make really, really good decisions based around that data, right? So I would say that definitely go after getting you some more data around like how your quality of sleep is, and then make an adjustment from there. You know what I mean? Like you need the numbers, right? It's like asking your financial advisor, yo, how do I buy a house, man? He's gonna say, man, let's look at these numbers, right? Let's look at your credit score, let's look at your debt to income ratio, let's look at these things, and then you can make a decision based off that. For sure. How many hours? Okay, this is Goya. Goya says this. How many hours should I be lifting weights for? There's not a set number of hours that you want to be lifting weights for, but I will say that all the science around weightlifting suggests that you really have the optimal energy and output within that first 45 minutes. Once you actually go beyond that into the 60 to even 90-minute range, which a lot of people go sometimes, and myself included, you actually start to dip in performance and strength around that 45-minute mark. And it also depends on how well you're hydrated, as well as how much sleep you got, and also how well you're nourishing your body beforehand. So it's very individual from that standpoint, but I would just say, like, somewhere around like 45 minutes is like peak performance. You can rest assured that if you are doing that, you are at least getting the most out of your training if you did the other things on the front end, right? Kevin Aragon, is it possible to get ripped with resistance bands? I would say yes and no, meaning that you can definitely see muscle definition with resistance bands, right? But like when you say ripped, like how ripped are we talking? We talking about like me, like how I look, right? There's no way I can build a physique like this much detail, this much muscle definition, with just resistance band. No, because it's not enough. It's not enough mechanical tension that you can place on the muscles with just that, right? But can you get like a decent, like respectable physique with just resistance bands? If you get your body fat percentage low enough, I think so. I think you can definitely see a difference to where you can be like, all right, this guy works out. But I don't know if you're gonna be looking like, some type of fitness model or something like that. Average build, yeah, you could probably get like an average build with it. You know what I mean? But any, like, look, if you're asking me that in comparison to like doing nothing, yeah, man, resistance bands is like head and shoulders above doing nothing. Kevin, I had the same question. Thank you for asking. I've been doing a lot of home workouts. Yeah, home workouts is okay, man. I know a lot of my clients work out from home and got good results. Primarily, you can lose a ton of fat, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Just from the standpoint of you really need to hinge on your caloric deficit through nutrition, right? So from that standpoint, yeah, you can see a lot of benefits from home workouts. Corey, why do you think Americans have issues with being active and being fit? Convenience. The American lifestyle is really, really hinging. Like it's really, we really cater to convenience a lot here. You know what I mean? Like everything is done for you to some degree, from food being delivered to, we got elevators in like any building that has multiple floors nowadays has elevators. We got Uber to get you from place to place. Public transportation if you're like in those bigger cities with subways. There's a lot of like highly processed, highly palatable foods that are packed with calories, right? And health and fitness is just not taught in schools, man. So that's one of the things that's really like the missing link. It's like the education, the knowledge behind like what really makes a, fit, healthy human. That's really the thing. That's kind of where guys like me come in. Like we're sort of filling that gap of like what the education system just isn't providing. Like for example, I am a fitness coach. I have been coaching for 10 years, like thousands of people. I never got this education in schools, right? How did I get this education? Well, I went through a failure of about 10 years of just not seeing the results that I wanted. And then I finally got it and then immersed myself in the information. and then started to teach it to people. And then through teaching it and through getting certifications and through getting more information and feedback through people, I learned at an accelerated pace, right? So I'm the product of like 20 years of experience essentially. And now, like, I'm giving it all away, right? I'm giving it all to y'all. But like, do you really want to go through 20 years of failing just to get to a fit, healthy lifestyle? For the answer to most people is like, nah. So like that's why I'm like packaging things for y'all to help you out. But that's pretty much it. All right, y'all. I got to get to my next meeting. If this was helpful, you want me to go live again this week, drop a flex emoji in the chat. Drop a flex emoji in the chat. It's just helpful. And if you need more individualized help as it relates to you, just go grab my free fat loss system. It is linked below on both platforms. And I shall see you guys in the next live. Peace. Boop, 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 boop.